Yeah, I worked with this guy. His name is Eric Reynolds. He's the editor of the Ruins Terra anthology. He had this really great idea, theme for the whole anthology. It's about the how things are left behind by civilizations and what it says about them, like the pottery that's left behind in a archaeology dig, and how people come back later and try to guess or figure out what it is that culture was about. I mean, think about the 70s. If we had, like, in the 70s, we were throwing garbage out our windows. There was all these. I lived out in the countryside, and there's these roads, just vast miles and miles of roads, and people used to throw their garbage out of their car, and their beer cans or their McDonald's boxes, and it used to litter the burrow pits outside, off the roads. And if everybody in the planet just up and left at that point, and a couple of years later someone comes back down, they would look at all that garbage along the roads and think, man, that culture really had clean cars, because nothing could possibly be in their cars after all that. So I think it's a great idea. It really speaks to the greater big picture about civilization. The story I put in there is called Memoirs. It covers the history of how humanity interacted with moss over the 4 billion years of the Earth, up to a nuclear holocaust. And it's about how moss put up with us. You know, we dig into it, we build stuff on it, and it just was okay. It kind of lived around us in the corners and niches it could find. But then when we started fighting and doing battles with nuclear weapons, it really threatened their existence. It dried things out and made it virtually it made it unsuitable for them too. So the story's about at the end of the Holocaust, and the survivors, the human survivors, come out, and the moss comes over and gets even with them for the misery that they've caused. Of course, I think the story is really bullshit, because, I mean, come on, are moss going to out-evolve us to the point where they can actually, attack us afterwards? It's craziness. That part, it's science fiction. It's just part of the story. It's an interesting story, but I don't really believe that moss can do that. I mean, moss is destructive, don't get me wrong. I mean, I spend the last 5 years, every spring, I have to go poison this stuff because it's taken over my yard, and it's trying to grow up there on my roof. In fact, I had a guy come over to check out the roof, and he went up there and inspected it. He came down with some crazy stories about some signs and symbols he saw in the moss. I'm kind of suspicious he's one of those seeing the face of Mary in a cracker or something like that. Anyhow, he was pretty upset, and he didn't even charge me. He peeled out of here so fast. I need to run out and get some moss to be gone and get this stuff taken care of, because I'm gonna have no yard left pretty soon. What is that over there? What?